Okay, so I chose Whisper for my social media review. For those of you who don't know, Whisper is an anonymous community-based social media site and mobile app. It helps promote the end of bullying and bias, also prejudice. People are free to post whatever they want within reason. They do try to keep it appropriate. Any form of secrets, stories, how they feel, what's going on in their day. Other users can then comment on the story. They can direct message the person, repost the story to their little homepage. It is set up to look like a greeting card, so I've got the picture posted there in the bottom. You can start typing your story, and it will pull a picture based on the words that it finds, or you can post your own picture with it. So the history of Whisper, it was initially released on March 31st, 2012, founded by Brad Brooks and Michael Hayward. Their first funding was $1 million from Mr. John Hadel in January of 2012. Following funding was $3 million in April of 2013, so about a year after they had launched. And that was from Lightspeed Venture Partners. $21 million in September of 2013 from Sequoia Capital, and then $36 million in May of 2014 from Shasta Ventures. So funding has continually increased at quite a jump there from the 6 months from April to September. In April of 2015, Whisper had over 10 million users. In December of this year, it was reported to have doubled the users in just 6 months to 20 million. Previously, in December of 2013, it was reported to have 3 billion monthly page views. And then the following spring of 2015, they have 10 billion monthly page views. So for the platform, it differs between the website and the mobile app, primarily just to fit your screen. And how that flows, similar to the Facebook app and how that changes from Apple to Android to a laptop. Overall, it's super easy to navigate. They've got little bars at the top and along the side. You can search for things. You can see people that you've talked to, go to your messages, all that kind of stuff. However, I do find it very similar to Pinterest, where there's the mass, never-ending scrolling down of pictures. It's pretty overwhelming, in my opinion. Not very pretty to see. The original target market was for people or primarily teens who felt they had no one to talk to about certain things or felt they'd get bullied or judged for them. All of their users seem to benefit, in my opinion. It is a safe haven for you to talk to people about secrets and stories you feel you would otherwise be judged for. There's obviously the being anonymous factor that helps people feel comfortable in what they're talking about and doing. But they do obviously have privacy concerns. If you feel that you're going to hurt yourself or that you're going to hurt someone else, then they do have to get law enforcement and the proper authorities involved. In terms of privacy, they are very strict about negative comments, bullying comments, and reposts similar to that. It is monitored very closely. My friend had reported a comment just to see how long it would take. And it only took them, I think on average, it was about an hour. The most it took was about 2 hours. However, they do have a couple of issues from several people. In October of 2014, in the beginning of October, the Guardian newspaper alleged several things. That they retained every user's posts indefinitely in their central database, which included anything you deleted. It was never kind of, I guess, discussed if that was similar to the Facebook thing where they say that if you backspace and you don't post it, to my knowledge, it's just the post that you did delete. And it had their timestamps, approximate location, even if you opted out of the location option. They also said that they allegedly stored or processed user information outside of the United States, despite having told its users that, quote, we process and store all information in the United States, end quote. Whisper has said that while it does use an outsourcing firm for content moderation based in the Philippines, no data is stored outside of the United States. They also allege that It allegedly provides data it gathers, so their geolocation data to FBI and MI5. Whisper participated in a DoD project about suicide prevention by sharing aggregate mentions of certain words on military bases. So that's kind of where they're pulling that from. They noticed that this DoD project happened, and they were curious as to how they retained all of this information months later. So then following that, a couple weeks later, U.S. Senator Jay Rockefeller asked Whisper's CEO to appear before him and the staff of the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation to explain the tracking systems, tracking data retention, and data distribution, because Whisper had denied all of the Guardian newspapers' allegations. So they wanted definitive answers. How are you getting your geolocation tracking? How are you retaining that data? And how are you dispersing it? And then following that, about 6 months later, in March of 2015, The Guardian published a clarification of the October 2014 piece in which it had made the allegations, and it also clarified their claims. So obviously they got a few answers on that. The Whisper app does have, when you open it up, it wants access to your location. You can deny that. But then obviously it says the same thing like Facebook. Certain things are limited. Like they do have a feature where you can find people who are whispering close to you. The Guardian also did remove, they had a post about can you really whisper privately, and they did delete that as well. So companies who use Whisper, I know BuzzFeed for a while backed them, and they were a funder and also a participator. Besides them, they have many sponsors. They use the social media site as an outlet for self-help, counseling, therapy, rehab, group counseling. There are links to that. I saw them primarily on the website. I'm sure if you looked on the app, you could find them. However, I think if they optimized this, they could post ads for things like that. With their specific brand of self-help, rehab, different places, maybe using that geolocation tag on where you're at to find places near you if you're dealing with things that you need to seek help for, counseling, therapy, rehab, anything like that. In terms of their marketing, primarily it's just a Facebook page, their word of mouth, and their website. This is, in my opinion, where they really need to improve upon in order to continue growing. Word of mouth only goes so far. Their funding can only go so far. I know they pulled in $36 million, but I know everyone hates ads, but in a sense, I think it would help. It gives those people an option to look at and say, maybe this is what I need. And also to generate more revenue, not just through funding. So through my thoughts, I heard of this through my friends. I had never downloaded it until this project, and I wanted to see how the app worked. Their website is, like I said, very similar to Pinterest. I think the concept is really awesome on trying to end the bullying and the whole judging people just based on, oh, well, I know this person and this is what they're saying. But they do obviously have quite a few privacy and security issues. I think that they've done nothing but prove that they'll continue to grow in terms of, 10 million additional users in 6 months and the $36 million in that year there to continue moving forward. So these are the 3 of the sources that I used. There was a few more, but these were the primary ones there. And that is all.